Star Wars 7x7 episode 2924. Today we've got another interview from Star Wars Celebration Anaheim, this time featuring Sammy Holland from Insight Editions. Punch it! Hey Rebel Rouser, I'm Alan Voivod and this is Star Wars 7x7, your daily dose of Star Wars joy. And thank you so much for joining me for it. So as I've been doing in the past couple of dozen episodes, as we get closer to 3,000 episodes here on the podcast, I've been sharing reviews that I've received on Apple Podcasts. This one comes from Brown Vez, called A Great Star Wars Podcast over on Apple Podcasts, and also starts with Great Star Wars Podcast, Great Overall Podcast. The host is great and obviously knows and loves Star Wars. I like hearing his take on news and his reviews of new Star Wars books and other media. Check it out. Thank you so much for that, Brown Vez. And yeah, I mean, you know, I've never had a day, like, I know this sounds like it's probably blowing smoke, but this is the honest truth. I've never had a day where I've sat down and thought to myself, I don't want to do this podcast. I've had moments where I've sat down and thought, what am I going to do for the podcast today? But I've never had a moment where I've sat down and thought, I don't want to do this, or gone through the day and said, I don't want to do this. Like, that hasn't happened. I do love Star Wars and I do love creating this for you, and I'm glad that it shows through, and I'm so grateful for that review. So thank you very much for that, Brown Vez. And for anybody listening who has not yet left a review over on Apple Podcasts, even if you don't listen on Apple Podcasts, you can still leave a review there because it carries a lot of weight and influence and helps more people get this daily dose of Star Wars joy into their lives. So thank you again, Brown Vez, for that, and thank you to everybody who's been leaving reviews over the last couple of weeks, and we'll be sharing more of those later this week, actually. All right, so on to our interview today. Samantha Holland, Sammy Holland, is with Insight Editions. She is an editor there, and this was particularly awesome for me because I haven't really gotten to interview a lot of editors for Star Wars. I did do a one-question interview with Ruth Amos from DK Publishing, and that is pretty much it in terms of editors, but I got to interview two editors at Celebration Anaheim, and Sammy is one of them. I happen to do a lot of writing in my own professional work, and I do some editing as well. I do understand the creative process for writing because I'm kind of involved in it on a daily basis. The editing situation is particularly fascinating to me because there are so many different ways to approach it in ways that I've been asked to approach it. And I haven't had a conversation with any of the professional editors working with Star Wars about their means of approaching editing and how they go about it and that sort of thing. Unfortunately, I don't get to do that with Sammy Holland or with the other editor that I will be featuring an interview with later on this month. But I got to do a one-question interview, and that is a step forward as far as I'm concerned. So I'm very excited to share my one-question interview with Sammy Holland from Insight Editions with you. Before I do, though, it just remains for me to say thank you so much for joining me for this episode, as always, and may the Force be with you wherever in the world you may be. And now, I want to also say I caught up with Sammy Holland at the same time, more or less, that I got to do the interview with Jen Fujikawa that I shared with you yesterday, in case you're interested in that detail too. All right, so there you go. That's all the ado, and now without further ado, here is the one-question interview with Sammy Holland from Insight Editions. Hi, what's your name and your Star Wars claim to fame?
I am Sammy Holland, and I'm an editor at Insight Editions, working on Star Wars books and all other franchises and properties.
Excellent. And so what would you say is the biggest life lesson or a bit of wisdom you've gleaned from Star Wars over the years?
That hope is everything, and that a ragtag group of rebels can really come together and bring peace to the galaxy. So,
I love it. Thank you. Where can people follow you on your own Star Wars journey?
Oh man, I'm on Instagram at Sholagram, SHOLLAGRAM, and that's pretty much it. So yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's nice to see you.
Is not endorsed or sponsored yet by Lucasfilm Limited, Disney, or 20th Century Fox, and is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Star Wars, the Star Wars logo, all names and pictures of Star Wars characters, vehicles, and any other Star Wars related items are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of Lucasfilm Limited, or their respective trademark and copyright holders. May the Force be with them. All original content is copyright 2021 by Star Wars 7x7. We hope you love it.